Hello, welcome back to another FPL video. Hope everyone is doing well. We're getting closer and closer to the return of Premier League football. Today, we're going to be looking at differentials, so you can maybe put in your wild card for Game Week 30 or those players over the next kind of 4 or 5 game weeks or even until the end of the season who can really kind of send you up the leaderboards and give you those nice kind of differential points. If you are new around here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. For daily FPL content, hit the like button if you do enjoy the video, and let's get straight on into this one. So the first player we are looking at today is Pedro Neto. He's picked up 5 goals so far this season and also picking up 5 assists. So got a total of 10 attacking returns this season, which isn't bad, coming in at 6.8% ownership as well. He definitely can be considered as a differential, and I'm considering players that are kind of below 10% as a differential, and the players below kind of 1% as your gems. The players were really going to send you absolutely flying up the leaderboards, but I think that Pedro Neto is a player that could do so. He's got an expected goals of 0.18 and expected assists of 0.2. So he's not got the greatest kind of expected returns, and he's got a key passes of 8 in the past 5, which definitely isn't bad when you consider Raheem Sterling has picked up only 7 key passes in the last 5 games as well. But with Pedro Neto, although he does have a low expected returns, and he's got an okay amount of kind of goal scoring and assisting output, his fixtures are the main reason why we are targeting him. Okay, he does have that West Ham fixture in Game Week 30, so maybe you wouldn't be bringing him in then, but he's got the likes of Fulham, Sheffield United, Burnley, and then West Brom, Brighton, playing those 5 green fixtures back to back. It could spell some big returns for Neto, and I would not be surprised if he came out of those with kind of at least 2 goals, even another 2 assists to add to his tally of 5 goals and 5 assists. And yeah, coming in at 6.8% ownership, 5.7 mil. I think it's an easy swap from Rafinha to Neto after Game Week 30. Yeah, I think that Neto could be a cracking option to send you flying up those leaderboards. The next option we are looking at is Kieran Tierney. And with Arsenal, you don't really consider them to be the best defensive team, but you also don't consider them to be the worst. They're kind of in that awkward middle ground of, do I bring them in? They've picked up 8 clean sheets so far this season and expected goals against of 1.38. And that expected goals against is very much in the middle ground of Premier League teams so far this season. He's picked up 3 attacking returns with expected goals of 0.02 and expected assists of 0.15. So we're expecting kind of attacking return every 1 in 5 games basically. But the main reason that we are targeting Tierney, much like Pedro Neto, is the fixtures that they do have okay. Like Neto, they don't have the greatest of Game Week 30s. They're playing against Liverpool at home as a defensive prospect. Although Liverpool haven't been the greatest of late, I still don't necessarily like bringing in a defender to play against Liverpool. However, after that, they play the bottom 4 sides within the space of 5 games. Sheffield United and Fulham, they play those 2 in 31 and 32. Okay, in 33, they do play against Everton, but after that, they play against Newcastle and West Brom. So that screams to me clean sheet potential, and it also allows Tierney a lot more attacking freedom to bomb down that left hand side, pull a couple of strings together, whip that ball in, and hopefully someone can slot it home. I personally own him, and I'm very much looking forward to see what he's going to offer over the coming game weeks. And as I say, playing the bottom 4 sides within the space of 5 games to me screams clean sheets. Coming in at only 6% owned, I think he could be a player that really could send you flying up the leaderboards, and he's got quite a high haul potential with the attack and kind of return potential that he does have as well. And so I think that Tierney could be a very, very good differential in the coming game weeks. And the next player we are looking at is Chelsea's Azpilicueta. Now, Chelsea have been pretty unbelievable since Tuchel has taken over in terms of keeping clean sheets. They've kept 15 clean sheets so far this season with expected goals against of 1.11. Only Manchester City have a better expected goals against. He's got 2 attacking returns so far with expected goals of 0.03 and expected assists of 0.08. So he's not the best kind of for your attacking returns, but the main thing we're bringing in Azpilicueta for is the clean sheet potential, which is massive considering as well the fixtures that Chelsea have in the coming game weeks. They've got West Brom, Crystal Palace and Brighton, which for me scream at clean sheets. They do play against West Ham in Game Week 33. However, they have been actually pretty good against the bigger sides in terms of, grinding out maybe 0-0s or 1-0s, especially under Tuchel. On the FPL website, they do have Crystal Palace and Brighton down as kind of 3 difficulty, as orange difficulty. But for me, especially with some of the other sides that they consider as orange difficulty or 3 difficulty, for me, both of those games for Chelsea and Azpilicueta do scream clean sheets. In terms of attacking returns as well, as we've mentioned, he's picked up 2 so far. We have seen him in previous seasons pick up attacking returns, so I definitely don't think it's kind of out of the ordinary for Azpilicueta to maybe get some kind of attacking returns in these games, and he does pick up bonus points as well, which is a massive thing, with Chelsea only winning games kind of 1-0, maybe 2-0, or even picking up 0-0s. Azpilicueta getting on the bonus points and not getting rotated like we've seen with Rudiger, like we've seen with Ben Chilwell, like we've seen with Reece James. He's the only Chelsea defender that we've seen be a real solid part of Tuchel's plans. So for me, Azpilicueta is a great differential, coming in at only 6.5% ownership. I do think that kind of in the coming game weeks, he maybe will not be considered as a differential. His ownership may push up to sort of 15% at one point, I do believe. But if you get on him now and have him for that kind of West Bromwich Albion and Crystal Palace game before other people start bringing him in, you could stand to gain quite a few points. So I think Azpilicueta is a great option for the coming game weeks. And the next player we are looking at is Liverpool's Diogo Jota, coming in at only 4.5% ownership. He's a very exciting, very kind of explosive player for Liverpool. He's come in with 6 goals and he hasn't picked up a single assist so far this season, but he's been out for the majority of this season with injury, and when he has played, he's looked real good, picking up an expected goals of 0.37, expected assists of 0.19. He's got a pretty okay kind of expected return per game and only picking up 3 key passes in his last 5 games, but obviously he's only actually played for 2 of them. Liverpool do play against Arsenal and Villa in the game week kind of 30 and 31, so it's maybe not the 2 best game weeks to be bringing him in for, but after that they play Leeds and Newcastle and have green fixtures pretty much until the end of the season. So as I say, coming in at a 4.5% ownership and an effective ownership of even probably lower than that, I think that Jota could be a very exciting option and FPL asset to own. One word of warning though is that Liverpool are absolutely gunning for the Champions League this season, because it's basically probably going to be the only way they're going to get Champions League football next season. So we could see some rotation of the likes of Jota in and out of the side for Premier League games, so that it's just a word of warning that he may not play every single game, but is a very explosive player and could easily go and grab some goals. So definitely one to look out for in the coming game weeks. And the final player we are going for is Chris Wood. This is kind of the gem that I was talking about earlier, the player below 1%, as I wanted to have someone that if they did do well could send you absolutely flying up the leaderboards, and Chris Wood coming in at 0.9%, I think could potentially be that player. He's picked up 6 goals so far this season with expected goals of 0.34. Obviously he has not picked up an assist and doesn't really get the kind of expected assists or key passes either, because he's mainly the one in front of the goal scoring the goals. Now obviously his goals so far this season, picking up only 6. Like Jota, he has been injured for the majority of the season, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. They play against Southampton and Newcastle in the next 2, so 2 pretty good fixtures to bring him in for. Then against Manchester United, probably wouldn't be expecting too much. And Wolves, Wolves haven't actually been too great of a defensive outfit so far this season, so I think that Chris Wood could be a very good option until the end of the season. Burnley do have some nice fixtures and they are still kind of just in the relegation battle, so they definitely will need to put out some results and will definitely be relying on goals from the likes of Chris Wood. And when Chris Wood does score, he tends to get at least kind of 2 or 3 bonus points, which is a massive bonus, as it were, when a player does score or get a return and actually end up getting the bonus points as well. On penalties for Brighton, I do think he's a pretty solid pick and a differential that could do very well until the end of the season. So today we've just had a quick look at some differentials for the back end of the season for the next 4 or 5 game weeks and even until the end of the season. Obviously, if you are on a Game Week 30 wildcard, maybe it's not the best idea to bring in the likes of Tierney or Neto for this coming Game Week 30, but you could also just put them on the bench and rotate them in from Game Week 31 onwards. They look like absolutely cracking options. If you have enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for daily FPL content, and I will catch you in the next one. See ya.